Thanks for tuning in to Spend Less, Live Well with Dr. Josh Luke, dropping serious wisdom, integrating healthy living, finance, and faith into the healthcare process to live your best life. Watch us on YouTube or listen anywhere podcasts are found. Spend less and live well. Thanks for tuning in to Spend Less, Live Well on the YouTube channel. I'm excited about today's show. Really quickly, if you're not already a member of our Facebook group, we just started a Facebook group in May of 2020 called Spend Less, Live Well, just like you see up in the corner. Same name as the YouTube channel and podcast. It's on Facebook. We're going to try to ask questions every other day or so that help people access healthcare more affordably, live a healthy lifestyle, answer questions about how others have solved similar problems that you might have about expensive medications, about accessing a direct primary care doctor, about different low-carb recipes, about financial responsibility. Guys, we're all over the board on how to spend less and live well, live healthier. Check out the Facebook page, type in Spend Less, Live Well, just like the name, group, and you will see it, and you can ask to join. So, hey, today's show, we're going to talk about the 10 tips to spend less on healthcare. The 10 tips to spend less on healthcare. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. You can get these downloaded to you anytime for free in a matter of seconds by just texting the word Josh to 72,000. That's Josh, J-O-S-H, to 72,000. Oh, look, hey, it's in the corner over here, J-O-S-H. You can just text that to 72,000. You'll be asked a question. You'll get an immediate download of the 10 free tips to spend less on healthcare. And these are kind of based at a website, spendlessonhealthcare.org, which is the website representing our not-for-profit foundation, created just to help Americans spend less on healthcare and access affordable care. And you can learn so much more there and learn about other resources. But for starters, just check out the 10 free tips to spend less on healthcare. You can get the list. You can get a video explaining each. There's actually a full-length news article that I wrote on each of them as well. But right now, we're just going to spend a few minutes briefly going through each of them. And if, again, you can text to get the whole list. But if one or two of them really intrigues you, go to that website, spendlessonhealthcare.org. Check it out. We'd love for you to share it with a friend as well. Get the word out about our not-for-profit foundation, designed specifically really to just help Americans like you, individuals, families, and even businesses spend less on healthcare. And we're not talking just a little bit less. We actually have a product on there that guarantees families it will save them $5,000 annually if they complete the questionnaire. So let's just ramble through these really quickly, okay? The first tip to spend less on healthcare is to shop for drugs. And you're going to see a common theme in these tips, and that is to become an EHC, an engaged healthcare consumer. If you've ever read any of my books, I have three books out, three bestsellers on Amazon, actually. Two of them are under the header of Health-Wealth. So the one I would love for you to take a look at is called Health Wealth for You. Health Wealth for You. It's on Amazon. In fact, I think you can get the Kindle for 99 cents. We're not in it to get rich. We're in it to help Americans learn how to spend less. Health Wealth for You was an Amazon bestseller, and we talk throughout the book about becoming an EHC. That means you becoming an EHC, an engaged healthcare consumer. And this list of 10 free tips, just like the book, gives you a lot of really simple tactics to become an EHC, things you can implement like today, okay? So that's what we're trying to do here. So here comes number one: shop for drugs. If you listen to the radio, you'll hear advertisements all the time for resources like GoodRx.com or just different drug cards, pharmacy cards, programs that are there to help you spend less on your drugs. And if you have a family member, and most have at least one family member that's chronic or has a long-term drug they need to take every day, okay, there's opportunity for savings here. So engage. And if you go to the website, you're going to see, 8, 9, 10, maybe more, because we just keep adding them, different resources that can help you become a better shopper for drugs. And GoodRx, for example, you just type in the website, your address, and it tells you how much the medication is at each of the pharmacies around you. It tells you how much it would cost to have it delivered to your home that same day. It tells you what it would cost to have it mail order delivered as well. So that's number one, shop for drugs. Number two, I want you to convert your HMO or PPO or EPO or whatever your insurance is, even if it's provided by your work, Okay, I want you to convert it to a cost sharing plan, or in the book, I think we call this look at a non traditional insurance plan. Cost sharing, my family did it. It's awesome. I go through Sedera Health, Sedera. You may have heard of a company called Medishare, MEDI Share. Medishare is a Christian cost sharing community. So if you go to church, that's an option for you. If you're not a regular attender at church, I wouldn't recommend it. And there's a lot of others out there, and cost sharing has been a real blessing for my family. Right off the bat, we saved $900 a month. And guys, I do teach at a university that offers me benefits, but my share of costs is $750 per paycheck, $1,500 a month. And I save $900 a month just on the premium by switching to cost sharing. So I actually refused benefits at my work just so I could stay a member of this cost sharing plan. So that's number two, convert your traditional insurance to a cost sharing plan or a non-traditional insurance approach. And again, you can learn more about those different approaches on the website at spendlessonhealthcare.org. Number three is ask about cash rates. Guys, you'd be amazed as you become an EHC, an engaged healthcare consumer, how many people, when you ask about cash rates and tell them you're a cash patient, and when you are a cost sharing member, you do take that approach. You tell them you're a cash patient because, in fact, you are. As you drill down, you'll learn why. They almost always say, oh, we give you a 30% discount if you're cash right out of the gate without even asking. So it's pretty cool. Number four, guys, tip number four is to negotiate. Come on, just like everything else in life, negotiate with the doctor and the hospital in advance. You have a lot more influence in muscle if you negotiate in advance. Guys, you may not know, as a hospital CEO for 10 years, and all the time doctors would come to me and try to negotiate a surgery price on behalf of their patient. Sometimes the patients would come too. More often than not, it was the doctor. Sometimes they would come after the fact. They were just looking for a discount on their bill. And a little tidbit, when you're coming in asking me for a discount on your bill, don't wear Gucci. That happened to me a couple times where people came in, told me they couldn't afford it, and they had like a $4,000 outfit on. So just think about that before you ask for that rate. But you can always negotiate with the hospital, with the surgery center, with the lab. Some will, some won't, even doctors. Okay, so remember to negotiate just like you would in everything else. And number five, guys, I'm shocked at how many more people don't do this, but I want you to ask your doctor. Ask your doctor about anything and everything. He or she are there to help you, to be your resource. And this is capitalism. They need your business. They do not want you to leave their practice. So please ask your doctor on anything. Ask your doctor if there's an option when he or she says, hey, you need this test. Let me tell you a quick story. It's in some of my articles and some of my books, but I had bursitis in my elbow, a big sack of fluid, and the doctor he fixed it, but wanted to send the specimen out just to make sure it was 100% that there was nothing else going on. And I said, well, hold on, how much is that going to cost me? And he says, I don't know. And I said, well, I'm not authorizing you to send it until you tell me. And he had his front office people make a few calls. They found it was like $380. I said, hey, I can't afford that. And you already told me and you fixed it. So why would I pay that? And he said, how about if I just send this vial? And I said, well, how much is that? So he called and found out, and it's $80. I said, hey, that's a fair meet in the middle agreement. So let's do that. Of course, there was nothing wrong. So I spent $80, but it's a heck of a lot better than $380, right? Because I simply asked, like, hey, why are you doing that? Are there any options? You'd be amazed in my 10 years as a hospital CEO, how many times I simply said to the doctor, other than what you're recommending, what are the other options? And they very quickly said, oh yeah, you could do nothing at all and you'd be fine too. I just was telling you what, the recommendation was. And you're like, whoa, maybe you should have said that from the get-go. So always ask your doctor. That's why they're there, to be a resource for you. That's number 1 through 5. Number 6, guys, get your employer to pay your deductible. Now this one's a little trickier, but when you start learning about in-network, when you start learning about centers of excellence, okay, and staying in network, and that one facility or hospital or lab or imaging center is cheaper than the other because they're in your network, there is an opportunity for you to go to your employer and say, hey, if I choose that one, will you pay my portion of the cost? Because your employer is going to save exponentially more if you go to that provider. So you see where I'm going here? They might say, why would I pay your $1,000? And then your response should be, look at how much it costs you if I don't go there and I go to the other place down the street. It might cost them $20,000 or $30,000 more. So that $1,000 they throw your way, not that big of a deal, right? All right, guys. Oh, by the way, did you check out my quarantine hair? I haven't had my hair cut in like 8 weeks. It's getting awesome. Got the full beard going, having fun in the quarantine just like everybody else. So So we're 1 through 6 in the bag here. Guys, I want you to text right now, if you haven't already, text the word Josh to 72,000. So when we're done with this quick run through, you can have this list accessible to you, okay? Number 7 is shop providers. There are so many resources out there to help you shop and just understand what the different hospitals are, what the different imaging centers, labs, doctors are. I want you just to go to the website, spendlessonhealthcare.org, look at those resources that tell you about the different shopping tools is what they really are that can help you. And I want you to compare prices. My books have some great stories about how I did that when I was having, my wife and I were having our 3rd child, my daughter, and I shopped hospitals, and it's some really funny answers and some funny parts to the story. But the point is, I joke, it's the 8 words that killed American healthcare. They told me, don't worry, your insurance will pay for it, which is not true at all. And if you read either of the health wealth books I wrote, the first section of those books is really about don't be duped by the 8 words that killed American healthcare, which is don't worry, your insurance will pay for it, because your insurance doesn't pay for it. They might pay for it right now, but you're going to pay for it a few months later, and so is your company, and your costs are going to go through the roof. Number 9, utilize telehealth from home or work. Guys, if you did not use telehealth, and one of the bright spots in the pandemic was that we saw rapid implementation and adaptation of telehealth, which should have happened years earlier for common colds, common consults from the home, instead of canceling a half a day's work and going to the doctor and waiting. Telehealth consults saw rapid adaptation, implementation, and acceptance in 2020 because of the pandemic. You have great companies out there like Advo Health, ADVO Health. You can find them on our website, Teladoc and others that offer. Teladoc is offered through my cost sharing plan, but Advo Health, for like $25, you can get your whole family access to a doctor 24/7. I mean, how cool is that? You don't even need insurance. You can do it that way, okay? So check out Advo Health on the website. All right, last but not least, number 10, I want you to go to the website, spendlessonhealthcare.org, and I want you to complete the online spending reduction tool. As you answer each question, it takes you less than 5 minutes. We're going to give you tips on how to save money for you and your family based on your answer. When you're done, you're going to find out if you and your family qualify for our $5,000 annual savings guarantee. And if you do, there's a nominal fee. It's under $100. Not sure exactly what it is. But there's a nominal fee to send us your information and get a personal report that tells you how to achieve that guarantee of $5,000 in annual savings. It's called the Healthcare Spending Reduction Tool. It's found at spendlessonhealthcare.org. You'll get the information on that if you text the word Josh to 72,000. That's the end of our list, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the 10 tips to spend less on healthcare. You can find those at spendlessonhealthcare.org. We're going to try not to do anything consistently that's perceived as selling, and I hope you don't think this is selling. This is a not-for-profit foundation website. These were generated just for you and for your benefit. The only cost associated with anything on that website is that tool, and we only charge you that after we guarantee you the $5,000 savings, and it is part of our not-for-profit foundation created simply for this purpose, to help you save money. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like, give us a share, and follow us on YouTube at Dr. Josh Luke. Spend less, live well. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks for tuning in to Spend Less, Live Well with Dr. Josh Luke, the crossroads of integrating healthy living, finance, and faith into the healthcare process to live your best life. Watch us on YouTube or listen anywhere podcasts are found. Spend less and live well.